Imagine for just a moment tuning into a star-studded Hollywood awards ceremony, and suddenly someone asks, whatever happened to those once familiar faces, those actors who were once on every screen but now seem to have vanished? If you've ever found yourself wondering this, you're not alone. In the next few seconds, here's the short story. We're about to explore a fascinating set of performers, some who began as brilliant child actors, others who shone brightly as leading stars, and uncover why they gradually slipped from the mainstream spotlight. Stay with us, because what started as ordinary Hollywood success stories took unexpected turns, leaving fans with questions and curiosities that we'll finally tackle today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy looking deeper into the hidden corners of the entertainment world. Let's start with Leslie David Baker, an American actor born on February 19, 1958, in Chicago, Illinois. Baker is best known for his role as Stanley Hudson in the iconic TV series The Office. When The Office debuted in 2005, it was a risky remake of a British show, but quickly became a beloved hit, thanks in large part to characters like Stanley, an unimpressed, droll, yet somehow endearing figure whose presence was a crucial anchor amidst the workplace chaos. Baker's ability to convey so much with subtle facial expressions and deadpan humor secured him a place in television history. Yet despite his popularity, he hasn't landed as many high-profile roles post The Office. This isn't necessarily unusual. Hollywood has always been competitive, and for actors of color, the structural hurdles can be substantial, affecting the variety and volume of roles available. Even as public demand for diverse casts has grown in recent years, it can be challenging for character actors who became strongly identified with a single role to break out of that mold. Baker, now 66, has also channeled energy into other interests, like music and writing, focusing on projects that resonate personally, rather than chasing every open audition. The entertainment landscape has also changed. Streaming giants, niche platforms, and short-form media sometimes place less emphasis on steady character actors and more on big-name casting. Still, Baker's Stanley remains etched in pop culture. If you rewatch The Office today, and many people do, that character's arching eyebrow and sardonic quips still speak volumes. Could he return for a spin-off or cameo in the future? Possibly. Nostalgia-driven reboots and reunion specials have risen in popularity. The door is never truly closed in Hollywood, and Baker's talent could very well re-emerge, perhaps in a more creatively fulfilling context. As you watch, consider hitting that like button, and if you want more such deep dives, subscribe to stay connected. Next, we turn to Jack Gleeson, born on May 20th, 1992 in Cork, Ireland. Gleeson immortalized the despicable King Joffrey Baratheon on Game of Thrones. Before Goatee, the world of medieval fantasy epics rarely catapulted young actors into superstardom, but Joffrey's cruelty and Gleeson's chilling performance left viewers both repulsed and enthralled. It's rare for an actor so young to provoke such a potent reaction. Yet following his character's dramatic exit in 2014, Gleeson chose to retire from professional acting, citing a loss of passion. In a media climate where young actors often face tremendous pressure, Gleeson's decision to step away was both surprising and quietly admirable. Instead of chasing Hollywood glory, he pursued philosophy and theology at Trinity College Dublin, exploring intellectual avenues that might never have been possible if he'd remained in the entertainment rat race. The shift highlights a broader phenomenon in the industry, the toll of intense early fame. While some child or young adult actors push forward into a lifetime career, others realize the demands, public scrutiny, limited privacy, typecasting, are not worth sacrificing their personal growth. Now 31, Gleeson remains a noteworthy figure because he stepped off the carousel on his own terms. His legacy? Teaching fans that walking away from stardom can be an empowered choice, reminding us that behind the roles are real human beings with evolving interests and dreams. We now glance across the Atlantic again to Ruth Wilson, born on January 13, 1982, in Ashford, Surrey, England. Wilson's portrayal of Alice Morgan, opposite Idris Elba's John Luther in Luther, stunned audiences. The character, morally ambiguous and brilliant, felt simultaneously dangerous and alluring, a significant departure from more straightforward female roles that once dominated British crime dramas. Over time, Wilson's CV expanded, from winning a Golden Globe for The Affair to tackling challenging stage roles that showcased her remarkable versatility. She takes breaks between major projects, demonstrating a conscious effort to maintain balance. This pattern reflects a shift many actors are now embracing, wherein they intentionally pace their careers to avoid burnout. Still, each time Wilson returns to the screen, anticipation follows. At 42, she remains a formidable talent, proof that in a sometimes relentless industry, carefully curating roles can sustain longevity and creative satisfaction. Her career choices mirror the broader metamorphosis of the British and American TV landscapes, where prestige television, high-quality streaming content, and strong female-led narratives have opened new pathways for actors who choose depth over frequency. Karyn Parsons, born on October 8, 1966 in Los Angeles, California, immortalized Hilary Banks on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Hilary was a memorable figure, affluent, slightly self-absorbed, yet ultimately endearing. At a time when representations of African-American families on primetime TV were expanding, The Fresh Prince broke stereotypes, blending humor and family values with hip-hop culture and social commentary. After the show, Parsons did appear in films like Major Payne and The Ladies' Man, but the visibility never quite matched that defining sitcom era. Over time, she shifted focus toward philanthropy and producing, establishing Sweet Blackberry, an organization dedicated to educating children about African American history through animated films. Now 57, her journey underscores that not all Hollywood paths lead only to larger fame. Some lead to meaningful social impact and storytelling from behind the camera. Her activism and educational work challenged traditional notions of what success looks like in a celebrity's post-spotlight years. This diversification also represents a growing trend where former actors leverage their platform to highlight neglected narratives and give back to the community. Moving on to Frankie Muniz, born on December 5th, 1985, in Woodridge, New Jersey. As Malcolm in the Middle, Muniz captivated audiences with intelligence, wit, and a knack for comedic timing. In the early 2000s, he was among the most recognized child actors globally. Post-Malcolm, he starred in Agent Cody Banks and Big Fat Liar, demonstrating versatility beyond a single sitcom persona. But Muniz stepped back from acting over time, choosing an unconventional path: race car driving. Racing and occasional music ventures provided a different kind of adrenaline rush. Hollywood is full of stories about child actors struggling to transition into adult roles. Muniz's pivot reminds us that stable, well-adjusted transitions to life beyond a hit show are possible, especially when guided by personal passion rather than the industry's relentless push. Now, 38, Muniz doesn't appear regularly on our screens, but his legacy endures, inspiring others to define success on their own terms, Every so often, the media rediscovers him, reveling in the novelty of a former teen star turned race car driver. And his story highlights the dynamic relationship between personal fulfillment and public expectation. George O. Gore II, born December 15, 1982, in Fort Washington, Maryland, is best known as Michael Kyle Jr. on My Wife and Kids. Running from 2001 to 2005, the show arrived during an era when family sitcoms featuring African American households balanced humor with relatable struggles. Gore's lovable, somewhat goofy Jr. contributed to the show's success. Afterward, he appeared in a few more projects, but gradually receded from the spotlight. For many child and teen actors, the difficulties of shifting into adult roles can be profound. Hollywood's appetite for fresh faces is endless, and if an actor's later roles don't generate the same buzz, the door can quietly close. Gore, now 41, exemplifies someone who might have chosen a quieter life off camera. The industry itself changed dramatically over the years, with streaming platforms altering the very nature of how audiences consume shows. A sitcom star from the early 2000s might find today's casting ecosystem dominated by cinematic streaming series and global co-productions entirely different. Whether Gore ever returns remains unknown, but his work still resonates with fans who revisit My Wife and Kids for comfort, nostalgia, and a reminder of a simpler TV era. Kristin Kreuk, born December 30th, 1982, in Vancouver, Canada, soared to fame as Lana Lang in Smallville. That early 2000 series was a pioneering superhero TV show, setting the stage for the superhero saturation we see today. Lana was integral to young Clark Kent's journey, humanizing the future Superman and adding complexity to the teen drama meets superhero genre. After Smallville, Kreuk took on roles in Beauty and the Beast and other series, but she eventually scaled back, branching into producing and activism. Actors often confront the dilemma of typecasting. After embodying a character so iconic, it can be tough to find equally compelling roles that push creative boundaries. While Kreuk may appear less frequently on screen, at 41, she's emblematic of a generation of TV actors who leverage early fame to shape new ventures behind the scenes. Her activism and producing efforts mirror a broader Hollywood trend, stars using their capital and influence to amplify marginalized voices and stories. The rise of global streaming has also opened doors for cross-border projects, and perhaps Kreuk's Canadian roots and multicultural awareness will guide her to future international collaborations. We now consider Richard Gere, born on August 31st, 1949, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Few stars have had careers as iconic as Gere's. In classics like Pretty Woman, An Officer and a Gentleman, and Chicago, he became the suave leading man who embodied charm and depth. For decades, he was a frontline A-lister. Yet in recent years, Gere has appeared less frequently in mainstream Hollywood productions. Why? Multiple factors could be at play. The industry's changing focus on younger, bankable stars, his vocal activism on issues like Tibet, which reportedly made some studios wary of alienating certain international markets, and a personal desire to engage in more meaningful philanthropic work. Now 74, Gere shows that even the biggest celebrities eventually make different choices, placing personal values and humanitarian efforts above constant media attention. The entertainment world has also splintered. An era once dominated by traditional studios now contends with streaming services that produce niche content. Gere's selective involvement might reflect both personal conviction and a cautious approach in an ever-evolving industry. His legacy is secure, his performances timeless, and his humanitarian work a testament to the breadth of influence an actor can have beyond the screen. If you're enjoying these insights, remember to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future deep dives. Mara Wilson, born July 24, 1987, in Burbank, California, is remembered fondly as a gifted child actress from films like Matilda and Mrs. Doubtfire. Her precocious talent and endearing screen presence made her a household name in the 1990s. Yet Wilson walked away from mainstream acting to explore writing and theater. The 1990s were a unique time. Children's cinema flourished with family-friendly blockbusters. But as Wilson reached adolescence, she navigated typical coming-of-age challenges coupled with Hollywood's intense scrutiny. Today, she writes memoirs and essays, championing mental health awareness and reflecting on the strange pressures child actors face. At 36, Wilson has found her voice beyond film, demonstrating that the measure of success isn't just continued stardom. She embodies a spirit of reinvention that's becoming more common. Actors finding their footing as creators, authors, advocates, and more in a world where celebrity can be both gift and burden. Ethan Hawke, born November 6, 1970, in Austin, Texas, was once known as a Gen X poster child, appearing in Dead Poets Society and Reality Bites. Over the decades, Hawke evolved into a multifaceted talent, actor, writer, and director, earning multiple Oscar nominations. Unlike some of the others we've discussed, Hawke never fully vanished. Instead, he chose eclectic projects ranging from indie films before trilogy to prestige TV and even novels. At 53, he continues to be active, albeit more on his own terms. Hawke's career illustrates another angle. Not all actors who appear less in the mainstream have faded. Some have simply carved a subtler, more personal path. The industry's rapid fragmentation into various streaming outlets allows established actors to find niche audiences. Hawke's careful curation of roles and projects, along with a desire to spend quality time with family, shows that longevity often lies in maintaining creative control and personal well-being, two commodities historically scarce in Hollywood. Gene Hackman, born January 30th, 1930, in San Bernardino, California, represents Hollywood royalty, with iconic performances in The French Connection, The Conversation, Unforgiven, and The Royal Tenenbaums. Hackman's range and gravitas set a gold standard. Yet he retired from acting in the early 2000s, choosing to focus on writing and painting. At 94, Hackman's absence from the screen exemplifies a rarer type of disappearance, the graceful exit at the height of one's legacy. His stepping back also calls to mind that Hollywood, for all its glamour, is a job like any other, and retirement can be a natural, healthy choice. In an era where many performers cling to the spotlight, Hackman's decision underscores that concluding one's career with dignity can itself be a grand statement. The shifting Hollywood machine, expanding franchises, increased reliance on CGI and younger stars, may have made the more intimate, character-driven projects Hackman excelled in less frequent. His legacy remains untouched, a shining example of quality over quantity. Eric Bana, born August 9, 1968, in Melbourne, Australia, carved a unique path. Starting as a comedian on Australian TV, he stunned critics and audiences with the dark biopic Chopper, and went on to star in Hulk, Troy, and Munich. Known for selecting roles carefully rather than chasing blockbuster after blockbuster, Bana has appeared less often in major Hollywood productions lately. Now 55, his career reflects a personal pursuit of interesting characters rather than relentless visibility. Australia's film industry, known for nurturing talent, gave Bana a grounded sense of artistry. He never seemed to covet celebrity for its own sake. At a time when Hollywood's structures have shifted toward massive tentpoles and streaming-led miniseries, actors like Bana, who prefer layered, character-driven work, might naturally work less frequently. But when he does appear, he brings a commanding presence that reminds audiences why he was once so sought after. Aldis Hodge, born on September 20th, 1986 in Onslow County, North Carolina, gained fame as Alec Hardison in Leverage. His portrayal of a tech-savvy, quick-witted hacker made him a fan favorite. Since then, Hodge's performances, from historical dramas like Hidden Figures to action-packed roles, demonstrate versatility. While he's not entirely out of the limelight, he's more selective, and viewers may notice longer intervals between his major roles. At 37, Hodge is part of a younger generation of actors exploring a balanced approach to career building, not just grabbing every offer. The entertainment world is more complex now, with streaming services and global audiences. This complexity offers more opportunities, but also more challenges in maintaining consistent mainstream presence. Hodge's skill and ability to vanish into roles keeps him respected, if not constantly, on magazine covers. The lesson? Quality, not constant quantity, fosters a long-term career. Seann William Scott, born October 3rd, 1976, in Cottage Grove, Minnesota, shot to stardom as Steve Stifler in the American Pie series, a character that became an emblem of raunchy late 90s teen comedies. He ventured into action comedies and voice acting, Ice Age, yet eventually slowed down, taking on fewer mainstream roles. Now 47, Scott appears in smaller independent projects. The comedic landscape has changed drastically since his heyday. Early 2000s humor doesn't always translate well into today's more socially conscious climate, and perhaps Scott chose to recalibrate rather than try to force himself into roles that no longer felt timely. The film industry's shifts toward more inclusive, globally appealing content may mean less demand for the slapstick archetypes that made him famous, but his legacy as a comedic figure of a particular era endures. Sometimes certain performances become time capsules, encapsulating the humor and sensibilities of a generation. If you've laughed along this journey, remember to share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your take. Angus T. Jones, born October 8th, 1993, in Austin, Texas, was once the highest-paid child actor on television for his role as Jake Harper in 2.5 Men. Viewers watched him grow up on screen, but in 2012 he publicly criticized the show's content, calling it filth and urging viewers to stop watching. This move, while shocking, revealed the often hidden tensions between personal values and professional obligations. The show's producers scaled back his role, and eventually Jones left the series. Now 30, he largely stays out of the spotlight. His story exemplifies how stepping away can stem from moral or spiritual convictions. Hollywood, for all its glamour, can clash with personal beliefs. In a global cultural context increasingly aware of content's impact, it's not surprising that some performers draw ethical lines. Jones's departure also marks a moment where personal integrity trumped career convenience, reminding fans that behind the character was a young man forming his own worldview. Deacon Lachman, born February 22, 1982, in Kathmandu, Nepal, and raised in Australia, gained recognition as Sierra in Joss Whedon's Dollhouse, and later appeared in The 100. Her unique cultural background and striking look allowed her to inhabit roles that defied traditional casting molds. Yet she's appeared less frequently in mainstream projects in recent years, possibly seeking more meaningful characters or balancing personal life with professional demands. At 42, Lachman's career underscores the challenges actors of diverse ethnic backgrounds face within Hollywood's traditional frameworks. Even as calls for better representation grow louder, breakthroughs are uneven. Streaming platforms have begun to diversify storytelling, potentially paving new avenues for Lachman. Her legacy so far is as a performer who brought dimension to sci-fi and fantasy worlds, and with global entertainment borders dissolving, there may be future projects tapping into her multilingual, multicultural perspective. Googoo Mbatha Raw, born April 21, 1983, in Oxford, England, made a powerful impression as Dido Elizabeth Bell in Belle. Her performances in Beyond the Lights, Black Mirror, and The Morning Show earned her critical acclaim, marking her as a standout talent. Still, many fans wish she appeared even more frequently in mainstream hits. At 40, Googoo Mbatha Raw is highly respected and selectively chooses roles that stretch her capabilities. The industry's constraints can sometimes limit how often we see even the most gifted actors. Her approach mirrors a trend among many contemporary actors to seek purpose in their projects, whether exploring historical narratives, contemporary social issues, or subtle character studies. Global entertainment markets and streaming giants constantly expand, potentially offering Googoo Mbatha Raw a canvas as broad as her talent. Her story shows that carefully curated visibility can lead to a refined, impactful career trajectory rather than short-lived mass exposure. Lark Voorhies, born on March 25, 1974, in Nashville, Tennessee, remains beloved for her role as Lisa Turtle in Saved by the Bell. A fashion-forward, confident teen, Lisa Turtle was groundbreaking representation of a black teen character in a popular Saturday morning sitcom. Yet after the show's heyday in the late 80s and early 90s, Voorhies struggled to find similarly high-profile roles. Today at 49, her decreased presence may reflect how the industry sometimes fails to provide steady opportunities to actors who rose to fame in niche teen-oriented programming. She's spoken publicly about personal mental health struggles, underscoring the importance of psychological well-being for performers who came of age under intense public scrutiny. The entertainment landscape that Saved by the Bell thrived in, colorful, simplistic, and network-driven, has largely disappeared, replaced by edgier, serialized storytelling. While Voorhies might have fewer recent credits, her iconic role remains a nostalgic touchstone for millions. Michael Stuhlbarg, born July 5, 1968, in Long Beach, California, emerged as a formidable talent through roles like Larry Gopnik in the Coen brothers' A Serious Man. Stuhlbarg's work, characterized by intellectual depth and emotional nuance, made him a favorite of auteurs. He's earned acclaim in period dramas, science fiction thrillers, and everything in between. While he's never been a household name on the level of a blockbuster star, at 55, Stuhlbarg remains a go-to for directors seeking complexity. Perhaps his appearances feel less frequent because he shies from publicity and blockbuster leads, opting for roles that intrigue him. In the evolving industry, Stuhlbarg is an example of the successful character actor, someone who might not dominate tabloids, but consistently contributes to high-quality cinema. He's proof that there's more than one path to success. A steady accumulation of strong performances can build a legacy that quiets the need for constant headlines. Finally, Michael Shannon, born August 7, 1974, in Lexington, Kentucky, is known for intense portrayals that often leave audiences breathless. From Revolutionary Road to Take Shelter, Nocturnal Animals, and The Shape of Water, Shannon repeatedly proves his ability to embody layered, sometimes unsettling characters. While respected, he's not a constant fixture in blockbuster franchises. At 49, Shannon exemplifies the actor who thrives in complex, often challenging, artistic territory rather than mainstream repetition. He's earned critical acclaim, carving a niche as an actor who explores the edges of human psychology. Like Stuhlbarg, Shannon reminds us that not all notable actors live under the brightest spotlights. Instead, their craft quietly enriches the cinematic arts. Such selective filmographies are increasingly admired in an age when audiences crave authenticity and depth. His path shows that disappearing from the tabloids doesn't mean disappearing from greatness. And that brings us to the end of this intricate exploration. We've traversed eras, genres, and cultures, examining how each performer's journey fits into broader entertainment industry narratives. These 20 forgotten or less visible actors are not truly forgotten. They've simply redefined what it means to be successful. Some stepped away willingly, trading the camera's glare for personal fulfillment. Others still appear, albeit in smaller, more carefully chosen projects. The industry has changed. The old network-dominated order has given way to a sprawling ecosystem of streaming platforms, niche audiences, international co-productions, and shifting social expectations. The definition of stardom and success has evolved too. As you consider these stories, maybe ask yourself, what does it mean to truly make it in Hollywood? Is it constant visibility or something else, like freedom of choice, artistic integrity, or personal happiness? Which actor's trajectory surprised you the most? Was it Jack Gleeson stepping back at a young age? Angus T. Jones's moral stand? Gene Hackman's dignified retirement at the pinnacle of respectability? Or perhaps you were intrigued by the quieter yet steady paths of Michael Stuhlbarg and Michael Shannon, who prefer quality over mass-market ubiquity. Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please like, share, and subscribe. We're here to satisfy that curious itch, to shine a spotlight on the less explored corners of celebrity and art. By subscribing, you ensure you won't miss future explorations, whether it's the rediscovery of another forgotten star or a behind-the-scenes look at how Hollywood transforms over time. Thanks for joining us on this journey. We hope you leave with new insights, a richer understanding of what it means to step out of the spotlight, and perhaps an eagerness to revisit old favorites. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and we'll see you in the next video.